Here is a video of analysis for the poem Letters from Yorkshire by Maura Dooley, and this is in the AQA GCSE English Literature Love and Relationships Poetry Anthology. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with a brief reading of the poem. Letters from Yorkshire. In February, digging his garden, planting potatoes, he saw the first lapwings return and came indoors to write to me, his knuckles singing as they reddened in the warmth. It's not romance, simply how things are. You out there in the cold, seeing the seasons, turning, me with my heart full of headlines, feeding words onto a blank screen. Is your life more real because you dig and sow? You wouldn't say so. Breaking ice on a water butt, clearing a path through snow. Still, it's you who sends me word of that other world, pouring air and light into an envelope, so that at night, watching the same news in different houses, our souls tap out messages across the icy miles. Really poignant and thoughtful poem. And of course, this is a poem that explores communication, particularly communication over distance. It's another poem looking at the relationship between parent and child, particularly when, as we assume here, child has moved away, probably to a city, whilst the parent stays in that kind of rural, out of city life. We'll start by looking at the title, Letters from Yorkshire. So already there's a kind of, the word is not traditional, but I guess antiquated approach to communication. Okay, this is particularly as this is a more modern poem. You know, the father could send emails, but he's keeping it sort of honest to his desires, right? And the desire is to communicate with his daughter through a letter. The fact that they're coming from Yorkshire emphasizes that kind of rural life. You know, it's a relic, I guess, to the speaker of the past, but it's probably also a place that is home. So you're going to have those associated feelings with home, feelings of comfort, feelings of safety. All right, let's have a look at the first line then. So, in February, so we have a time, it's winter, February. Digging his garden. So even in the winter, he's digging, working on the land. You know, there's a sense of commitment. There's a sense of routine. It's his garden, that sense of ownership there, planting potatoes. We have this nice bit of alliteration, which reflects the kind of sort of hands-on approach to life. Now, what does he see? What's the first piece of imagery? We have this visual image of lapwings, a type of plant. The first lapwings return. There's something here, isn't there, a little bit like the plants come back. But does the child? And came indoors to write to me. So there's an instant kind of need, as I mentioned, a desire for connection. He writes, very personal action, his knuckles singing. Nice bit of personification here to reflect the cold. I note just in terms of structure, use of enjambment here. I mean, it's pretty clear what this does, his knuckles singing as across not just lines, but also across space, because that reflects the distance. between father and child. As they reddened, nice bit of colour in the warmth. So obviously going inside warms this father up, but also connecting with his child brings warmth too. The act is simultaneous. It's not romance, so very keen to remind us that this is platonic. It's simply how things are. You out there in the cold, seeing the seasons, again, this alliteration to show the kind of father's focus and attention. We're obviously in the cold. Another example of enjambment, seasons turning me with my heart full of headlines. So now we get a window into what this person is doing. Headlines obviously reflective of newspapers, and I guess a more kind of electronic, technological life. Feeding words onto a blank screen. The fact that the blank screen, it's empty. Is this a suggestion of like the soullessness of city life and the kind of work that is done in the city? It's followed up with that nice rhetorical question. Is your life more real because you dig and snow? This is about the kind of dichotomy, which is the two-sided nature of sort of like nature versus industry, as it were. You know, which one has more soul? She's asking, is your life more real because you dig and sow? More kind of traditional actions. You wouldn't say so. So here we see a kind of kindness, don't we? It's a parent being kind. You wouldn't say so. You know, he wants his child to feel confident and supported. Breaking ice on a water butt. We see the strength of the father. A classic image. Clearing a path through snow. Still, it's you who sends me word of that other world. Now here we have that idea of distance coming. And of course we spoke, didn't we, about the fact that this is letters. The letters close the distance. Beautiful metaphor here, beautiful. Pouring air and light. Clean air, bright light into an envelope to communicate. So that at night, watching the same news in different houses, and you have that nice bit of juxtaposition that shows that even over distance, they can feel close. Our souls, and it's a kind of conflation again, our souls coming together, tap out messages across the icy miles. Okay? And if we just think about that last line, it ends with distance and being far away. But it starts with closeness. There's very little rhyme in this, a real lack of rhyme. And I think that shows the kind of outpouring of emotion. It's not bound to any kind of set of rules, is it? So there we go, letters from Yorkshire.